What's up, guys? This is Voxair. So this is just gonna be me building this last computer that I sold about a month ago. This feels long overdue. Anyways, for this computer, I had bought the RAM used, the CPU used, and I believe the motherboard used. So you're just watching me assemble this motherboard right now. I have it playing like what at 8 times speed or something. Um, so what motherboard was this again? I believe this is the B650 Gaming XAX. If it wasn't, then it was either that or the V2. So, yeah, this is pretty simple here. This is me about to install the cooler. As you see, I believe actually, if I remember right, this cooler was actually a cooler I used to have in my old computer. This is a Deepcool AK620SE, I believe, and I've had it for years and years. But when I swapped my cases, because I have an ITX case now, I couldn't use it no more. It was way too big. So I just had this sitting in the back. So funny story, I couldn't find the mounting kit. So I tried to buy just the mounting kit from AliExpress, and they ended up just giving me just the back plate. So I'm like, crap, okay. So when I bought this motherboard, the motherboard actually came with the mounting kit. And it was then that I actually found the original mounting kit that I used to have. So I'm like, oh my god, I didn't have to buy any of this crap. But the motherboard still came with it, so like, okay, whatever. Anyways, you might see the way I'm mounting the cooler. I'm not putting the fan on the front there. That's because, well, it doesn't have RGB. So that doesn't really matter. But since it doesn't have RGB, it wouldn't really light it up, and then it'd be blocking the RAM as well. So interestingly enough, this cooler actually has a cool design on it. So that's why I kind of mount that thing on the back. I flipped them around properly, don't worry, airflow isn't really messed up. Anyway, for this case, I got the Montech XR, and I really like these cases. They are one of the only fish tank cases I'll say that people should buy. And I only say this because it's one of the few that comes with reverse fans on them. So, well, you'll get to see that. Actually, you get to see them right now. Those fans right there in the front, those are reverse fans. So those are proper intake fans. Usually what people will do is that they'll flip the fans around. Either, on this case, they'll flip it around because they might not know what a reverse fan is. Like, oh, the airflow's wrong. Then they'll have exhaust in the front. That's wrong. But what most cases will do is that they'll just have normal fans there. So those will still be exhaust. So a bunch of these kind of cases will have really messed up airflow. Anyways, this is also a used PSU from my old computer. I had upgraded, or rather, I kind of side graded just a more ITX PSU because this would fit in my case, but I got an ITX PSU instead, gave me more space. So this is an RM850. I still have all the original cables, and as you see, I'm just routing the cables. So when I build my computers, I like to route the cables first. I like to get the case ready for the motherboard because once the motherboard's in, it is a lot harder to work around with the cables. So you see me messing with everything here. I have the front IO. I'm putting those where I think I will need those to be. And yeah. So with this case, I believe this case was around maybe $60 or $70. But when I ended up listing this computer, I actually figured out that this is a really overused case. So while this is a great case, and I do advise people use it if they want a good fish tank case, if you're looking to use a flip for it, still a good case, but you might not stand out as much, and that's kind of an issue I had where it did take me about another month to sell this computer, and it got tons of views. It had tons of views, tons of saves, but when I looked on the places I was listing, it was just, man, on one page I saw like maybe like 10 of this case, so I'm like, oh my god, I'm not standing out at all here. Anyways, so you may be noticing I'm taking a long time with this that CPU plug. It took about maybe probably a little bit longer for it. You see, because the cooler was so big, I had to take the motherboard out to get the cable in, then put it back in. I was really messing with my hand here. I think I might have cut it a little bit as well. But once I got that in, everything else was kind of okay sailing. I didn't screw in the motherboard just yet. I still have some trouble with the cables here, but not as much as I was with that connector. So I got the USB 3.0 in. I got the USBs in. let's see, I think I was just routing the fan. Oh, got the 24 pin, excuse me, the 24 pin in. That I started routing the front panel connectors, the USB for audio, then the cables for the fans. And you're gonna see here in a second how it will look. I think I turn it around. Okay, I don't turn it around. I'm still working on it, but that's right, I have to screw in the motherboard, so why would I turn around? But yeah. Okay, I had to get my flashlight for some help here. So once I finished up with the motherboard and screwing that in, I turned the case around, and then I decided to do a tiny bit of cable management, or really just to get the fans in. So you see, I'm just having some trouble here getting everything through. And what I was trying to do here, if I remember, this was a while ago, is that's why I was getting the zip ties. So I went ahead and zip tied earlier. Maybe I should have waited a little bit, 'cause I think I undo this zip tie. But I go ahead and zip tie some things, get some cable management going here. And at this point, I didn't have the GPU. So the GPU is gonna come in a different clip where I'll be talking. But as you see, I get everything nice and situated here. I get looking nice and purty. And I think, let's see. I think my initial approach to this was that the GPU, rather the cable to the GPU, would come down from the bottom, but I ended up changing that, and you'll see how I changed it. I won't spoil it too much, but I go ahead, put the back plate on, get everything looking nice, and I'll set off to my next self. Alright guys, it's here. The GPU. It's been multiple days since you saw the computer, which I have packed up here. I've already opened the GPU just to check on it, but this guy, he had packaged it in a box. Well, he packaged it in a little, like a bag. No, he packaged it in this box, put the GPU in the bag, then had it cushioned by a bunch of cardboard. So, you know, do some packing. So, you know, I, of course, already looked at the GPU. So just to check its condition. I have to say, it is in great condition. Like, I can barely even tell it's used. So what GPU is it? Oh, ready? RTX 2080 Super, and it is in immaculate condition. Bro, look at this. It has all the details on the back. It still has the SLI, it has the SLI bridge on it, but it has a cover for it. It even still has the warranty sticker on it. And there's barely any scratches on the back. There's a couple I can see. It probably is gonna pick up the camera. There's like maybe a few. I guess I kind of scrubbed some of the dirt out here. There's absolutely no rusting or even bending on the back plate here. There's not a single bit of rust. No bending. Not at all. I can only see bending where the screws go at, so that's not even gonna be visible. Nothing. Not even fingerprint smudges even. Yeah, not even smudges. And the same on the front metal part here. It is perfect. No bending, no smudges, no dirt. It is perfect. And then the fans are pretty good. There's a little bit of dust, but there's not much, to be honest. Like, I probably just blowed this off or just throw some IPA in there. As for the rest of the shroud, doesn't even look like it has a dent in it. Nope, just a tiny bit of dirt that I could just rub off. The gold pins on the PCIe here, perfect. It doesn't even look like it's been slotted, to be honest, which is weird. So it looks like this GPU was almost never used, or maybe just sat out in the open for a day or two. Like, that's what this GPU looks like. Power connector, perfect condition. Literally perfect. So yeah, this might have been a great catch, but we'll see when I actually put it in the computer. So we're gonna hop to that now. Alright guys, so I got my GPU out on the back over here, and I'm about to take the case apart. So for the rest of this, for the beginning of this video, I wasn't talking, or I wasn't showing audio, I wasn't giving my audio, because, it just takes a while, but this shouldn't take long at all. So all I gotta do is remove this tape. I like to keep the tape on this case specifically, just because it looks nice, and also it keeps the plastic wrap on here. So if I take this off, it'll make it harder for me to keep that on. And this doesn't want to come off. I have to put some more effort into it. Okay. So placing this somewhere back over here, and I'll move this up a tiny bit so you guys can get a slightly better view. Yeah, that's good. So, for all those who never have installed a graphics card before, crap, I have to take the back plate off, but I'm still going to do this first. So it's very simple. There are, if I bring this over a bit, actually I can just bring my camera over as well. You can see there are screws right here, and then we have our PCIe slot over here that you can't really see. Let me just grab my camera. PCIe slot right under the cooler. So all you do is just put it in that slot and screw it in with these screws. Now first we have to remove these little brackets here. This is just kind of like dust filters, or rather they're just removable so that things won't get in your case if they're not used. So we're just gonna unscrew this one, and I believe unscrew the one next to it down here. Yep. Then we should be good to mount our GPU. Make sure that's lined up. I think it is. I can't fully see. I think that's it. The clip's engaged. If you can't exactly see where the slot is, try to line it up with the holes over here again. Try to line it up there and push it straight in, and you'll know you have it because the clip will engage and won't be able to pull it out easily. Now we'll screw it back in. We'll use these same screws that we took out and screw in the GPU with it. Very simple process. All right. And what I like is that when a case does come with these, you can actually keep them and use them in other cases. So if I just want to decorate the back of a case that's kind of ugly in the back maybe, or maybe I need just more of these, like I'm using like an older case that's new or rather used, and might not have these, or maybe they're the kind of tabs that you pull off and you can't put back on, you can use these. These aren't standardized per se, but they do fit these slots pretty much on the same way because these slots are made for GPUs to fit and GPUs are standardized. So now the GPU is firmly screwed in. It still has a little bit of wobble here, but this will be fine. Maybe I'll print like a support bracket, but honestly it's not needed. What is needed though is, as you're probably looking, power is missing. Now when I built the computer, I thought I had taken the cables all out so that I could do this, but it seems I might have put them back in. So I have to lift the computer back up. And with that, I will bring the camera back down. And I will get the mic out the way, of course. Okay. So we have our back plate here. And all I have to do is just go in and get the PCIe power cable. And as you see, actually, the computer is plugged in. It's not flipped on, but it's plugged in. This is the ground because I took the computer out the case. Not the case, but this box back here. and I usually keep like all the wrapping on it, like the plastic wrapping. It had a lot of static. In fact, I touched the computer, I got shocked, so I went ahead and just plugged it in so that I can ground myself when I touch it. Because if you guys don't know, the third pin on electrical devices. In fact, let me just show you this. Oh, you might have. So everyone knows this is a power outlet. At least in the U.S., looks a little different in different countries, but in the U.S., this is what it looks like. You have our two main power pins down here. This one and this one. Then we have a grounding pin. So this pin, it interacts with a part of your circuitry in your house that goes directly to the ground and sets you back to a net neutral charge, or sets your device back to a net neutral charge actually. So because this has this pin, and because the entire PSU is electrically charged, and the casing itself is made out of aluminum or some kind of metal alloy, you can touch it and get grounded. And yeah, that's what I like to do. And grounding isn't exactly a active thing, as in the PSU doesn't have to be on. Grounding just happens because it's always, components that have grounding pins are always grounded. So that's why the PSU can be flipped on or off and you'll still get grounded just fine. So I'm not exactly worried about touching components if I've already set up the PSU. In fact, that's what I always do. I'm not seeing the video. Now, what was I doing right? I was coming around here and I had to get the PCIe power cable. So I believe this looks like it right here. Now let's see how I want to bring it to the front, because when I bring it to the front, it has to look nice. Let's see. Oh, actually, perfect. I just have to push it all the way through. My hands are not big enough, or rather, my hands are not small enough for this, but they're not big enough to look intimidating either. Okay. I almost had it through. Let me try just getting this first one through. Oh, close. All right. Got the first one through. Second one. All right. Now what's holding me back here? Okay. I zip tied my cable, so I have to pull it through a little bit because it's too short on the other side. Just about. Oh, it's so close. It's just right there. It is just right there. Do I have any more cable? Yes, I do. Come on, just a little bit more. Ooh. Oh, that's a lot of cable. That should be enough. All right. Now I will connect this cable in the front. I will not show this because I just want this to be over now. Then I will get this other cable, push down the front here, and that's done. This is a done process. And what I can do is I can take this extra pin, push it against here, and I'm about to show y'all this. Yeah, this is hot. All right, guys. Let me pull the extra cable back through. I like having my cables nice and tight so that they don't show through the front at all. So it keeps presentation both during shipping and while the customer's using it. Let me unplug this so I can go ahead. I like it. I do wish this slot here was a little bit over here so I could just bring it more straight up. But it is what it is. So what I'm gonna do now, cabling everywhere looks fine. Let's see if it turns on. So let's get the cable here. Bring it back around. Moment of truth. Let's see how much troubleshooting I'm about to do. Alright. Well guys, this is it. is the computer finally complete. In here we have a Ryzen 5 7500F, 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM, and an RTX 2080 Super. And all this was below $700. It's in a beautiful case. You see, I redid that GPU cable routing. I didn't like how it's coming from down here, so I rerouted it over here and I used a zip tie to put it back up. I got the RGB working on here, so I'm gonna set it up completely software-wise, but that's fine. I decided to probably noticed right here, rather here, with the fan. I moved the fans back one because they're not RGB fans, and then they also cover up the RAM. So I decided to just let that pattern show. I don't know if the camera can catch that, but you can kind of see there's like a little dithering pattern, like a checkerboard pattern on here, which looks really nice. So I think that this build might be the best one I made yet. I made a lot of builds. Performance-wise, this is definitely the best. Price performance-wise, this might also be the best. So I'm gonna see what I can get for this. And maybe I'll make another video on that. Yeah, this video is gonna be pretty long on its own. But yeah, if you have fun watching me build this thing and complain about it sometimes, maybe, then give me a like and subscribe. I'm gonna do more of these. I will record every flip I do. In fact, from now on, I'll record every flip I do. So yeah, that could be a nice little series every now and then. So yeah, bye.